Okay, so here's what I have so far. Again, we have it all put together. We have the outlets. You have to add a couple actions, but that's not too many, and so on. So you have the three all on top of each other right here. So we kind of left off right around here. Right? Was it here? Where did we leave off? Past here. We did this, right? Yes, we did this. That's where it did all the buttons. Did we do this one? Yeah, I think so. Didn't we do the function update? Yeah, update UI. Again, this was so that the person could go. This goes on again. Where's this function update UI? It's on the question view controller, right? Most of the code is going on the question view controller because that's doing most of the work here. Again, I just currently put this in. We have the case single. This is kind of where I left off. Update right here. Single stack view. Why do I want to have an update single stack? Where is that? Hold on. Where is this at? Hold on. So it's animated true to gets the bar the slider to move, right? And then we have a case statement that switches depending upon which one you select. But this doesn't seem right here. What do I have is hidden? I must have done this wrong. Yes. Okay, let me move this over here. Move this over here. So is this right that I need to add this? No, let me undo that. I guess this is all of this. No, that doesn't make sense. Set current question. Hold on, I gotta find my way here. Switch current question type. Case single. So I guess we're update single stack.
No, like 9. Nice. I let you pass to the parking lot. I didn't know that was open. You had to pass it.
Okay, so we need to write a function for each of these. And that's for each one of these right here. So that's why it's giving you error messages. It doesn't know what updating single stack. We got to write a function for each of those. So we need to write a function. Oh, that's where the single stack view is hidden. Single. How do you spell single? And so then, and so the single button one comes from where? Where's this come from? This. Where do you think the single button comes from? Single button one. It's the name of the outlet for the first option. Then it's going to pull the title from answers, and of course the first one in the answers list is 0. So the single button should be this one right here, this right here. Single button one. Single button one. Make sure I spelled it right. And then set title. And then answers 0. Where's answers at? Answers should be here. But answers. Is it answer or answers with an S? I think I have answer. Yeah. It's the answer with a capital answer there. I have answer here. I don't know. That's a good question. Where at? Where do you see answers? I should have answers here? Or answer? So it should be an S here. And now it's giving me more errors.
Oh, in the book where it says answers in our thing, we've been using answer.
What's that?
In the book it says answers, but when we code it, it should be answer.
We called it answer.
Yeah. That's what it should be.
Answer. All right. I can't see. Is there a way I could get the code here? Shit. So this should be answer. No, it's answers. Answer with a capital S. I don't know. Dying here.
Oh, in the function update string single, that should be answer.
Where?
The bottom.
Which one?
That should be answer.
This one?
The bottom.
This one? This one? Answers are here?
That one.
Which one?
That one, where your mouse is, to the left.
Answers here?
No, answer.
75.
This one?
Yeah, there.
Where did I make a mistake? At the beginning?
Press the red arrow and you will get the fix.
It's answers here.
Oh no, it should be answers.
Just press the red one, the red button, the arrow, yeah. And just fix. Press the fix button. It's on the right hand side of this box.
Which one?
Fix.
Yeah, just fix it.
Okay, just fix it.
Yeah.
Just fix it. What, no space here? No. Shit.
Oh, there are two columns. Using answers. It should be answers.
Okay, but I make a mistake over here though.
No, that's
Okay, I'm sorry. Problem is I don't remember what I did before.
There is no colon after using. Line 75?
Yeah,
Yeah, remove the colon.
dying here.
I have to leave. I'll watch the video.
Okay. So there should be 4 buttons there. Each one should correspond with the number. So that should be the function for a single stack view. The other ones are very similar. We could probably copy this and paste it. And this is multiple TIP, multiple stack. This is going to be multi here. Oh no, it's multiple. Oh, multiple stack. I got it. Oops, lowercase. Okay, so we have multiple stack view there. This is label. Multiple label. Multiple label.
No, we call it multi-label. Yeah, multi-label.
Multi-label 1.
That's equals. We don't need the set title answers text more normal.
Yeah.
Multi-label 1.text equals answers 0.
Yeah, hold on. I'm getting it. There we go. We got there. And we got equal. Like that. We delete these. We can copy this. And then we have label 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have these ones. That's for multi-stack, and then we need the slider. For range response, you'll need to set up the stack view a bit differently. While there are only 2 labels to update, the quiz will work better if every question has 4 answers evenly, even though only 2 answers are required. Since the number of answers is guaranteed, it would be safe to index directly to the collection. For example, if you use answer 3 to access the 4th element of answers, but the collection contains only 2 answer structs, the program will crash. No matter how many answers you have in your range response question, the first and last properties of the collection allow you to safely access 2 answer structs that correspond to the label. So again, you're only doing 2 options here. You got first and last. So we got a function, update, ranged stack, using answers. And then we have range to make it hidden. It's false to make it visible, more like it. So that makes it visible. And then ranged oops. How did I get 2 first in there? Let's copy that. So that will be 2. So that'll take the text, put it on the button, the range label. Build and run your app. The labels and buttons should all update to reflect the first question. Great work. You'll see controls that aren't updating. Use the connection inspector for quiz view controller to verify you have created each outlet properly. However, hover over every element in a list to check their outlets and see if necessary breaks any incorrect outlets. So hopefully if you don't have any errors, it should work. Next it says retrieve answers with action. So far you've generated a list of questions and your app is displaying the correct user interface for the first question. That's an excellent start. In this section you'll record the player's answers and move to the next question. When the player has answered every question in the collection, you'll present the results. No matter which set of controls you use, you'll need to initialize an empty collection that can store the player's answers. Again, it's a variable. We'll probably put it up here. So we need to store the user's results, answers chosen, answer, in a single answer stack view, you would determine each outcome. Each tapped button corresponds to append it to the collection, then moves to the next question. All 4 buttons will perform the same work, so you can create an IB action that any of the 4 buttons will call when tapped. Begin by control dragging from the first button to the single answer stack view to the space. Space is the quiz controller class definition. This is the same way you create an IB outlet, but at the time you change the connection type to action. Single answer button pressed and change the type from any to UI button so the sender parameters, the method will be the type. So again, it looks like they're using 1 button to recognize if you've clicked any of them. That's the word any. Well, I guess you're not using any, but hold on, let's see. We want to use this. We want to grab the, you can hide these other ones if you want to make it, or actually just click from here. Click from here, that'd probably be easiest. And you want to put it, it looks like they put it above. Oh, shit. It looks like they put it above the update UI. Looks like they put it here for some reason. So again, they take the first one here, control drag it above the update UI, make sure it's an action. This is a UI button. And what did they say to call it? What is the name? Single answer button pressed. Single answer button pressed. S-I-G-N single S-I-N-G-L single answer button pressed. Single answer button pressed with the ED as a UI button and an action. And again, it looks like it's right above the function UI right there. Connect the three remaining buttons to the single answer stack view to this newly created IB action. So they want you to put them all underneath that in here. So that would be control click. No? Is that what they're doing there? Connect the three remaining buttons in the single answer stack view to the newly created IB action. Oh yeah, that did it. There's two of them there. Again, right there. There's 3, 4. How do you know you did it right? Is if you roll over, you see how the plus and they all 4 show up. Do you see that? See all 4 of them show up when you click the plus? See that? See that? They all 4 show up. Why do you need to update the type? You're trying to tap from multiple buttons to one action, so you need to specify which button triggered the method. You can use the equal to compare the two UI button objects. If the method was triggered using a single button, app will know that the player selected the first answer. Okay, so within this action, they have it looks like a constant current answers equals question answers switch. So again, they're trying to see which one that they clicked on. So you're going to add that here, inside here. Let current answers equal question index dot answers. Then again, they're using the switch statement to see which one they clicked on. Case single button That's the first one. What does this one look like? And then you can copy this 3 times. So this would be 2, 3, 4. And of course this is answer 2, 3, and 4. Did anybody get past this part? What did I do wrong? Let me make it bigger.
Hey Jeff, you feel better?
No, I'm still sick.
Oh, okay. Well, we got 3 of them done.
You're not
What's
still
up?
eating McDonald's, are you?
No, I'm drinking McDonald's.
Okay, I'm worried about your health, Harvey.
All right, it's already gone. Don't have to worry about it.
Oh, you skipped. You should be going from 0.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you. I found it. Yeah. Okay, let's go to default. DEFULT. Default. Break. And then next question. So we have to build next question. We haven't built next question yet. Yes, we haven't built next question. It's giving you an error message because it doesn't know what next question is. We have to build next question. But do you see what I did
That should be answer.
right here?
Yeah.
But we still have to build next question. Okay. For the multi-answer user interface, you'll determine which answers to add to the collection based on the switches the player has enabled. Control drag from the submit answer button to code and create an action with the name multi-answer button pressed. Go ahead and change the argument attributes none, since you don't need the button to determine which answers were chosen. So right here, none. So again, don't worry about next question. I think we still have to build that. So let's do the multi-question one. Again, select the first, is it the first button? The first label? What oh, first switch, right? This switch? Go ahead and select the first switch, right? Oh, no, it says the submit button answer. For the multi-answer interface, you determine which answer to select the collection based on the switches the player has enabled. Control drag from the submit answer button. So that would be this one right here. The submit answer right here. Let's put it right here. And they told us the sender is none. Action. And they tell you to call it multiple answer button pressed. Again, none, any inside, there we go. Next, create 4 outlets for each of the UI switches so you can check which enabled and then choose the answer to the collection. Control drag from each UI switch to the document, outline the code, and give each switch a name to keep your code neat and organized. Enter the code for each of these outlets near the label of variables associated with multiple answer stacks. So again, this one's called multi-switch 1, multi-switch 2, multi-switch 3, multi-switch 4. That would be, again, easiest way to drag that would be to open these up, open the triangles up, see them right here. Then come inside here drag this switch here. No, that was wrong. Next, create 4 outlets, one for each UI, so you can check with it enabled and switch. Control drag from each UI switch in the document outline to code. Oh, to the code in general? Where? At the top? Oh, near the label. I guess it's saying near here. How about we put it on top? How about we put it on top? No, no, no. How about we put it up here? Is it an outlet? It is an outlet. It's a UI switch. And what are we calling it? Multi-switch one? Oh, multi is lowercase. Switch one? Is that what they called it? Multi-switch one. Multi-switch. Let's copy that. Okay, let's do another one. This would be multi-switch 2. And then this one would be multi-switch 3. And then this one will be multi-switch 4. Okay. If the first switch is enabled, you'd want to add the first answer. Unlike the method with the single answer, this method allows you to append as many as 4 answers per question. So again, down in the button, that would be the button that they have down here that we just made, this multi-answer button pressed. We need to add the which question that they have added. Question index. And we're doing answer here, not answers. Or I'm doing, yeah. Or am I doing answers here? Why did we do answer here? Did I spell something wrong? Did I forget the S and the answers from there? So the same name that we just gave that outlet needs to go in there. You want a space there? You want to return here? Okay, we can copy and paste this for the if statement. Make sure you get the last one here. So then we again, same thing. We got a 1. We have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. And then we have a 1, a 2, a 3 here. And then again, you need the next question, which we haven't built yet. So there we go. We still haven't built next question yet. For a range response question, you'll read the current question of the UI slider and use the value to determine which answer to add to the collection. Control drag from the submit answer button to press and create an action with the name ranged answer button pressed. Again, change the argument attribute to none. Again, we need to drag that. Let's just put it up here somewhere. So let's close this. And we want the submit button, I guess, right? The submit answers. So the submit answers here, we're going to control drag that. And then we're going to call that ranged answers. Button pressed. Oh, it says weak. It was supposed to be what? None. Arguments is none, huh? We undo that. Oh. Oh, made a mistake. Let's see if we can fix that. I don't know if we can. Let's try it again. Ranged button. Was it ranged what? Ranged answers. Button pressed. And that's an action. And that's none. So again, action, none, connect. That looks better. Okay, so we have a UI slider. No, that doesn't look right. Oh, then it says create an outlet for the slider. So we need to make an outlet for the slider. So control drag for the slider. I thought we did that already. Didn't we do the slider already? I guess we didn't. So next one would be to drag the slider, which is this horizontal slider right here. Control drag that, and then this one's going to be an outlet, and it's ranged slider, UI slider, weak, I guess it's fine. Take a moment to think about how you can use the slider value to correspond to 4 different answers. A slider's value ranges from 0 to 1. So a value of 0 between 0 and 2.5 could correspond for the first answer, and a range between 75 and 1 could correspond to the final answer. To convert a slider value to an array index, use the equation index equals slider value times number of answers minus 1. Round to the nearest integer. This result in the following method implementation for range answer press button. So again, right here for the range answer press button function right here, we could put the slider value in there. And then again, you should have next question in there. Or next question. Which I don't think we've built yet. Respond to answer questions. You may have noticed that each IB action ends with a call to next questions. You create this method, you'll increment the value of question next by 0. Remember, we already added that question index. It starts with 0, I believe, by 1. Then determine if there are any remaining questions. If there are, you call update UI to update the title and then display the proper stack view. The method will use the new value of question index to display the next question. If there are no questions remaining this time, to present the results using the results segue that you created earlier. So that was when we dragged to the top up here. Do you remember that? And we gave this a value. We called it result segue. So next we need to make a function. I'm going to put it down with the other functions down here. Down here, above the update UI. Function, next question. Oops, capital Q. So again, each time they press next question, you want to increment by 1, which is we already made the question index. And to add 1, we put a plus equal 1. And then we do an if statement to see if it's above a certain count. So the perform segue is how you program the segue that we built. Just like we did with the colored. Remember we did the colored view controllers? Remember the colored view controllers? And we called it results segue. So again, this is the name of the segue that we named earlier. Somewhere I remember naming that. Bid to run your app the test of each of your input controls. Do you notice any bugs? One obvious issue is the interface for multi-answer and range response retain the values from previous questions of the same type. For example, if the player has moved a slider all the way to the left for one question, the next question that the user slides will start with the slider all the way to the left. So you need to update the UI. So let's save a little bit here and test it. This doesn't look good. I like lots of meat. I like eating nights. I'm somewhat crazy. They all did switches. Something went wrong. It was putting everything into the single answer button, wasn't it? Did you see that? This outlet has a problem here, this one. Okay, we fixed that. Okay. You see how I fixed that? By dragging from here to there. Okay, we fixed that. It seemed to just do question one, didn't it? Did you see that? Let me try again. Which animal are you? I like berries. So the switches are gone. So that's not working at all. It just keeps going. It doesn't even go to the second one. I must have done the update UI wrong. Or the, actually I think it's the next button maybe. Hold on. I do the next button wrong. I think the problem I have is with the, where is it? This next button. This doesn't look right. Is this? Why does this not look right? No, that should be. Did we call it result segue? I guess so. It's giving it red though. Update UI. Something in the update UI is not working. Update UI, is that what, did I spell it right? Update UI, something wrong there. Let me put this afterwards. Yeah, it just keeps doing the first one. So it's taking the answers and putting them in that first one here. It doesn't go to the second switch. It doesn't go to the second switch. So what the problem is, it's not going to the second. It goes to the first one only. It's not doing this. It just keeps doing this one. Because you notice it takes the questions and puts them in here each time. Oh, that's why it's telling you that. To resolve this problem, you need to reset the position of the switches in the slider to logic default when the next question is displayed. So again, they have inside the update multi-stack using update range stack using. So we have to update. So again, so update multi-stack answers. We got that hidden. The switch is on false. So multi-switch 1 is on. Is on. I'm going to copy that. Range slider. Set value. Colon. FALS. False. Ranged slider. Capital V. Okay, so part 5, calculate and display results. You've almost done. You've working user interface for multiple question types, and you're recording the player's answers. The final step includes calculating the results, presenting them, and dismissing the results screen so that the quiz is all ready for a new player. When the results segue is fired, that's your opportunity to pass a collection of answers from the question view controller to the results view controller, where the results will be displayed In order to do so, you'll need to implement prepare for segue sender. In question view controller so you can handle passing the data. The results view controller also needs a property that can receive the data. This property will be used to calculate and present the final outcome of the quiz. Add a property to the results view controller that can be set to prepare for segue sender. Method in the question view controller. This property would need to be an implicit unwrapper option so that the view controller can be loaded from the storyboard even if the property doesn't have a value. Okay, so I don't know. Did anything get fixed? Oh. Now I'm still missing my switches over here. Anybody get their switches to show up? Yes, your switches show up? I must have done something wrong. Okay. So add a property to the results view controller that can be set in the prepare for segue sender method in the question view controller. This property will need to be an implicit unwrapped optional so that the view controller can be loaded from the storyboard even if the property doesn't have a value. Hence the explanation point. So again, the first step would be to go to the change this code right here to the I don't want that. Shit. Okay, this is killing me here. How do I get my storyboard back? Okay. How do I get this one? We want the results view controller. So we need to add a variable in there called responses. Responses. Did I spell that right? R-E-S-P-O-N. Oh, there's an N in there. N. Responses and then answers. Answer. And then make an exclamation point. Okay. Now declare prepare for segue sender. In the question view, if you already haven't already, before you pass the data in prepare for segue sender method, it's been good to verify that you're executing the expected segue. You can check by comparing the segue identifier property to the result segue. If the two are equal, you can be sure to display the results view controller. So again, this is back to the view controller. In the view controller, you need a segue. Do we build that yet? I don't think we built a segue, did we? We have performed segue, but that is for the next question. That's not for this. So let's put this at the end. So override function prepare for segue the UI storyboard. Sender any if segue identifier is equal to results segue then do what? Am I putting this in the wrong spot? Now declare prepare for segue sender in the question view controller if you haven't already. Before you pass the data in prepare for segue sender. Oh, forgot sender. Or no. Why do I have UI storyboard in there? No. Override function prepare for segue equals UI. Oh, there is UI storyboard. Segue. Did I spell it wrong? I guess I spelled it wrong. Next, you'll have to downcast the destination property from the UI controller to the results view controller so that you can access the response property you just added. Why do I have quotes around this?
Results view controller.
What's that?
It's wrong. This line is wrong. 160.
Okay, yeah, I see.
It will be equal, not double equal. 762.
Okay. We'll see what happens. If you build or run your app, try setting a breakpoint at the line, inspect the response and results to see if it's currently nil. Step over the line and see the property update to reflect the answers you gather while taking the quiz. Calculate answers frequency. Now that the results view controller has players' responses, it's time to think about how to calculate the personality. What was most common personality type among the selected answers? In this example, if the player gave two answers that correspond closely to dog, only one of each other animal, the best results would be dog. If the two or more animals are tied to the most answers, either one would be a valid result. How can you tally up the results? You'll need to loop through each of the answer structs in the response property and calculate which type was most common in the collection. A good solution might be a dictionary data model, where the key is the response type and the value is the number of times it's been selected as an answer. For example, if the player gave two answers that correspond closely to dog, only one of each other animals, the dictionary would look like the following. Cat is 1, dog is 2, rabbit 1, turtle 1. To begin, declare a method called calculate personality results that you can call when view did load within the method dictionary. That will hold the frequency of each response as the code above. For the which animal are you quiz, you could use the following code. Couple more lines. I don't know, did anybody complete it so far? Did you get all the way to the end? Does it work, Amanda?
I'm testing it right now. I think I figured out how to display the image with the enumeration at the end.
Without being an emoji, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think I figured it out.
Okay, good. Okay, let me pause this right now.